What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
We have 71 episodes published. No,
we don't. We have.
No, I'm
This
sorry.
is
This
71.
is episode 71. You know what? Don't give me sass. I was looking at the back end of Spotify, and it says we have 71 because we have 70 episodes and a trailer.
And that trailer, yeah. I was saying the trailer. Don't give
My
me
information
sass.
was factual.
I'm clipping that one. Hello, everyone.
Hello, friends. Welcome to episode 71 of the F1 Underground Show. As always, my name is Owen. That is my sister, Casey.
Hello.
We meet weekly to discuss all things F1, all things related to F1, and a little bit of IndyCar, a little bit of, other racing here and there, kind of like big stories. But yeah, we love F1. I don't know where I'm going with this. So I feel like we haven't done this in forever, and I don't know why, and I'm really struggling with it.
When we did it last week.
When we did it just last week. Right. It wasn't like
it's not like when we were away.
Right. It's not like we took vacation and then we came back and then it was all of a sudden, oh my God, we have to do this again. We did this last week.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we're going to jump right into our normal meme of the week. We'll cover some weekly news. It's been a little quiet. There's been a couple moves here and there. But it's been a relatively quieter week so far.
Should be a shorter episode, though.
Yeah.
Will be a shorter episode. But yeah. Meme of the week?
You want to kick us off with the meme of the week?
Yes, I can. So I have to talk about Gunther Steiner and having a brat summer.
Yeah.
And shout out to his daughter. I don't know, or one of his daughters. I don't know exactly which one that is. Probably for getting him to this dance, but he looks like he is having the time of his life. And let me just say, he's kind of killing it.
He does do really well. I will give him that. He does look very confident in himself.
Yeah.
The best, you know what? I'll give him the biggest props for. He's not looking back at his daughter to see what part that they're on, like in the choreography. So he knows this dance routine, and he practiced this a couple times.
Yeah, but think about it. The phone's probably facing them, so he can probably see her in the screen, but still, it's a little more.
He's not even like that delayed,
No, he's on time with her.
Yeah,
if anything, he's delayed at the end when he does this little with the steering wheel thing. But yeah,
it's so good.
Let's all live life like Gunther Steiner and have a brat summer. So
I don't even know what the fuck that means, but sure.
It's because it's Charlie XCX. That's the name of her album, Brat. So yeah, Brat Summer. I'm so happy I decided to describe it to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just saying very relevant.
We're educating the masses,
Yeah. F1, Brat Summer, Gunther Steiner. So yes, moving on to Owen's meme of the week.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Really a meme. I feel like it's very
relevant,
obviously, in this time. Obviously, we have two pictures of track and field events happening for the Olympics, and it goes F1 Formula One in 2023 versus 2024. And it honestly makes so much sense because in the 2023 picture, we have that really zoomed in.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. We have one runner ahead of everybody else.
One runner. It's Usain Bolt.
I don't think that's Usain Bolt.
It has to be.
I don't think that is. It looks like him. It is a Jamaican runner, but I don't know if it is or not. But he is way ahead of everybody. And then you go to 2024 where you have just this past, what was that, 2 days ago? 1 day ago?
Yeah.
You have the men's 100-meter dash where it was a photo finish, and Noah Lyles from the USA beat everybody out, and it's awesome to see. He's such a cool guy, Noah Lyles. He's like super funny. and is like his personality really comes through when he runs and when he does interviews and whatnot. So I really like it, but I thought it was a good picture for Formula One, the 2023 and 2024.
No,
like I said, not much of a meme, but it's very relevant right now. And
because it makes perfect sense. Like,
and you know what? We're gonna fucking talk about the Olympics, so we're gonna do that.
I mean, it could. Yeah, that. I think it was it Sunday? So I was sitting here. It might have been Sunday because they're weird. They do their medal ceremony the next day, and I remember watching it yesterday, and it was the medal ceremony for the 100-meter.
So
And then he ran, and then he ran the prelims for the 200, which is his best race yesterday.
Yes, yeah, it was Sunday because I also remember I didn't watch any of the Olympics on Sunday, and I came in.
I had to watch that
on Monday, and everybody was talking about it. And then I saw that night too. I also was like on social media and whatnot, and I kept seeing clips of it everywhere. So yeah.
Well, I posted. I said it reminds me of the Alonso and Perez photo finish from last year because then they bring up those like.
Oh yeah.
They bring up those like they look like computer generated images of the photo finish to see who's actually ahead, but it must be like the frame, and then it's literally like.
They go
like the way you see it,
yeah.
But then people were bringing up the cars meme right away. Well, especially because because it worked out perfectly color wise too, like the way they were all leaning in. But yeah, that was. Lewis was at the Olympics. He was supporting his friend.
Lewis was at the Olympics. I
Miles,
saw that. Yes.
He's a fencer, so he was there. Lewis was supporting Team USA because his friend is.
I was going to ask, was it a British fencer? I couldn't remember.
He's Team USA, but actually, I had the broadcast on. Well, I think I had like the ongoing coverage, so they like went over to it for a second,
right.
And they were talking about him because he was up fencing during his part of like the team competition. He's from Philadelphia. I was like, wait a second.
Oh.
Lewis's best friend is from Philadelphia. I was like, I'm sorry.
We haven't talked about this in a while, but one step closer to the Philadelphia Grand Prix.
One step closer.
It's gotta happen.
Well, did you know? We're really going off before we get into weekly news. Did you see how Red Bull had a grease the pole competition in Philadelphia recently?
Yeah, that was on my birthday.
Oh, was it on your birthday?
Yeah, I wanted to go to it, but we had like stuff planned and everything. Yeah. I sent it right to Nick, and I was like, if this was any other day, I would be doing this. For our European listeners, if you're not familiar with Philadelphia, we have a tendency that whenever one of our sports teams wins a playoff game or like a major of like sports event, whether it be a championship or like a critical playoff game getting to the championship, we riot in the streets, first of all, and it's become known now that our police force will grease like street poles because people climb them. And I mean, like, I've seen video of like people climbing to the top of like street like lamps and sitting on top of them and everything and hanging off of crossing lights, like stuff like stoplights and everything. And I'm just like, it's insane. So Red Bull the other day out into the Schuylkill River had a pole and there was a flag at the end of it, and you had to run the pole, but the pole was greased. So it was like I saw clips of either people who were Spider-Man because they would run on the pole and they made it all the way up. It didn't look like they lost their footing whatsoever. And then there were other people that like the moment they would step on it, they'd be down and they'd just slip and fall right into the Schuylkill River.
You're like, I know you're not from this city. I know you're from this city. I know you're from here.
Yeah, you've climbed some greased up poles before. Yeah. That's
some greased up poles. Speaking of, before we move on, like I said 12 topics ago, have you watched the speed climbing? Speaking of Spider-Man, have you watched the speed?
Oh my God, yes.
Did you see the girl?
I love it. It is so much fun to watch.
It's like they don't even touch the wall. They just like jump and they're over there.
Well, I did like that they said like the wall is the same for every round of the competition. Mm-hmm. So it's like I'm sure they get a layout of the wall before they go into like prelims or whatever, like a map, on paper or whatever. And then they climb up that thing, and it is like they're literally
Quick.
just like two hands on one rock over here, and before they're even like done pulling themselves up to it, it's like they're past it and they're going to the next rock. It's insane. It's wild.
Yeah, it is very interesting. But yes, now that we've talked about the Olympics, thank you. We're not just an F1 podcast. We like to talk about other things as well. Before we move into weekly news, like we said, there hasn't been. Last week's Carlos news was probably the biggest news we've had maybe in a while. There's been a few things since. We'll touch base and stuff. We'll go over some of those things. Rumors today. The rumor mill is working once again. I said it earlier. This Newey topic is the new what if, like Carlos was. So, before we get into it, as always, please use code Underground10, no vowels except for the letter U at the start, when shopping over at ipf1store.com for 10% off on your purchase of cool, sick F1 art, coffee mugs, travel mugs, hats, t-shirts, basically anything. And he has a pretty cool blog now as well. So
yes, I've read a couple of the entries. It's really cool.
Yeah. Hells wrote one on there, so very cool. So go check out ipf1store.com and use the code Underground10 when checking out. Yes, moving along to weekly news. Starting off with Alpine, the team that I feel like is just a revolving door.
Yep.
They have a new team principal. His name is Oliver Oakes. He's very young.
He's the youngest team principal in history.
Yeah.
Big move for Alpine. I don't hate it. I was reading the Mark's article about it, and about him. And Mark covers his history a little bit. He's not like he's like brand new to racing.
No.
He knows how to manage an organization too, because he's founded two businesses inside of racing. There was Oakes Racing Team. Let's see if I can quickly find the name of it.
His name's kind of fun too.
Yeah, he founded Team Oakes Racing, which was a karting team and a management service. And then he founded the High Tech Grand Prix in 2015, which competed in various feeder programs, including F3 and F2. So he's not brand new to racing. He's not brand new to managing something in this environment.
No, and he also came from the Red Bull driver program,
right?
Worked his way up the junior ranks, it says. But also with his Team Oakes Racing, he had some well-named drivers that everyone knows of: Callum Ilott, Marcus Armstrong, Nikita Mazepin. He knows what he's doing. Obviously, they wouldn't have brought anyone in if they didn't know what he was doing, but he knows what he's doing. It'll be exciting to see. I think a younger mindset is maybe what Alpine needs. I think they need a change of pace.
This is exactly where I was going to go to.
Oh, sorry, good. What were you going to say?
Yeah, technical difficulties, as always. I think a younger mindset in Alpine right now is great. Also, to me, they're at the point as a team of you need to make a change, and obviously they are making those changes. But aside from changing your driver lineup, something like that, the team principle is where you can kind of make the biggest impact in terms of getting a new mentality and mindset for the team in there.
And I was going to say they didn't hire from within. Like, it's an outside voice, which I think is also what they needed.
That's definitely they're in a spot right now where it's like
he's having technical difficulties.
Being that loud.
No, just, maybe sit back.
God, my back's gonna get all sweaty now.
I hope you know I didn't pause.
Good. Yeah, they're at a point now where it's nothing is going to be a win or a loss for them. Or no, I'll rephrase that. Nothing is going to be a loss for them because they can't get much worse than where they are now.
I hope so.
Right. So it's you're at the point now where it's let's get a new team principal in, see how he goes, and hey, at least if it doesn't work out, at least we tried something.
Yeah.
That's where they're at.
And I hope now he's starting in Zandvoort, so we will see him first race back as team principal, which will be exciting. And then I think I know we said last week, like, how soon do we get the rest of the drivers falling into place, and we haven't had anyone since the Carlos announcement, but I feel like Alpine needed this first.
Right. Yeah.
Especially if Jack Doohan really is waiting in the wings. Yeah, then he's just the perfect person to fill in like that spot. So yeah, I think they definitely needed this issue to be figured out first. But yeah, I'm excited for him. I think it's a good move. So
I'm excited to see from what they said off of his like personality and everything wise, and how he is so young and he's so energetic and such like a big personality. I'm excited to see him on Drive to Survive. I would be curious to see if they cover like an episode of Alpine.
They gave us 2 last year. They're giving us another one.
True. Yeah, they got to at least give us one. But yeah, I mean, if they can cover, one episode of Alpine just going through all these changes and whatnot, and then they kind of bring him in halfway through the episode, kind of, symbolizing bring him in halfway through the season and whatnot, and kind of seeing that side of him too. I would definitely be interested in seeing that.
Yeah, I feel like you said, his personality, I feel like that's someone Pierre needs. Pierre needs someone that's also excited about racing.
Wants to win the races.
Yes.
Is not there just not that all the other team principals are here for that reason, but has not switched to that mindset of like, it's a paycheck. I'm here because I love racing. I want to be involved in this, and go from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I agree. Same. It'll be interesting to see. And like you said, they can't get much worse. So
yeah.
can't keep digging yourself a bigger hole. But yes. Moving on. This was a big news that dropped last week. I think it was on Wednesday morning. Of course, after we recorded.
Naturally.
Red Bull is losing someone else, which I think this goes to show there's an internal struggle over there.
Yep.
That's getting worse. The news broke that Jonathan Wheatley is going to be the team principal over at the Audi F1 project. Mattia Bonanno was announced as the chief operating and chief technical officer and said, let's get to work. And brought over Jonathan Wheatley. He is currently the sporting director over at Red Bull, and then will be departing the team at the end of the season. He will have a gardening period. No one obviously knows exactly how long, and then he'll join Audi as their team principal. He'll get a whole year probably because Audi's not coming until 2026, so it'll be fine. Wheatley's been at Red Bull for a very, very, very long time.
Quite a long time.
Yeah, he oversees their pit crew, which we all know they hold a world record or two. Yeah. There was stuff that was being talked about that Wheatley wanted to continue going up in the ranks, and obviously with Horner still there and clearly not going anywhere, that was never going to happen.
Yeah.
So, Wheatley leaving, Adrian Newey leaving. There's probably engineers that are leaving. Well, I know Aston Martin got someone. I can't remember who exactly, but yeah. Red Bull is... I said I'm sad for the Red Bull downfall. Sorry, Red Bull admin, but...
Yeah. It's definitely, to me, like, especially now with this move and how big of a blow this is to Red Bull, it definitely feels like Adrian Newey's departure was like almost like the Titanic is sinking.
Yep.
Here's one lifeboat. Everybody who can get on now, or you're going down with the ship. And it's, you got Newey, you've got a couple engineers, you've got Wheatley. It's like, it's now all these people, I think, are kind of coming to the realization of like, okay, maybe we weren't as strong. Maybe we aren't as strong as we were before. And that's something that obviously nobody wants to be part of a losing team. So it's, yeah. And I don't, on a personal level, I don't blame Wheatley making this move to become a team principal. I mean, a team principal is huge. You're the face of a team. I mean, like, that's the thing, past the drivers, you are the person that the people know next, and it's
well, and people were saying, I saw people saying like, no, I don't think it's like an internal thing. This is what happens when you're so good for so long. People start to leave. And I can see that. It's like when a football team goes to the Super Bowl or whatever, goes far, and then like the coordinators get picked off one by one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it like that. But I could go back even further to stuff that happened earlier in the winter as being the first.
Yeah.
They definitely did not handle that well, and I think it's just been going and going and going. But yeah, I think Newey leaving first and being like, see ya.
Yeah.
Basically it's never been seen again except for that the what's it called? This speed festival at Goodwood, but yeah, but yeah, it will be interesting to see. I know people also, because it was also rumored, like, no one obviously will get into this after the next topic, like where Newey was going to go, and people were saying with Wheatley going to Audi, I mean, he knows what he can do. Like, I think he knows what to do. Coming from a Red Bull,
yeah,
I think he's going to be fine as a team principal. I think his leadership will be fine. People were like,
years of knowledge from Red Bull, to pull over.
Yeah, and then people were saying, if with Wheatley going to Audi, if Audi somehow got Adrian Newey, would Carlos regret his decision?
It's a good question. It really is a good question.
But I think there's definitely, I could see there being performance clauses in Carlos's contract that if Williams is awful next year, he could probably.
Yeah, but would it be I can jump ship after 1 year? Because that wouldn't
maybe. I don't know.
At least, especially after James Val's comments saying like Carlos is locked in on this team for a good bit and everything. The way he's having a performance clause of, hey, if we're garbage in 1 year, I can get the fuck out of here. That to me is doesn't say confidence.
No, definitely doesn't.
Not that James is going to come out and say that. He wants the pump that they've gotten this veteran driver and whatnot, and he's so confident in the team, and look at how good it makes us look and everything. He's not going to come out and be like, yeah, Carlos is here. We got him with a contract that says he can leave next year if we're poor. So, and
I also think 2016 could be a whole different ballgame with the new regs. So like how you can't go into next year being like, okay, well, if they suck, they're going to suck next year. You never know.
That's the thing. With Carlos's contract specifically, now that we're talking about it too, like I really wonder how much of the Williams pitch was more so focused on 2026 for Carlos instead of next year.
Well, I am blanking. I can't think of the podcast name. It's not Red Flags. It's not the Beyond the Grid podcast. Had James Valdes on it. That man is getting obsessed with Carlos Sainz.
I mean, sure.
No, he described it as dating. He said, we met for coffee the first time. I would then after race weekends, we'd go have dinner and then we just hang out in his room. People are like, James, your wife's saying she's confused about your relationship with him compared to yours, and your wife is a little telling.
James, stop focusing on Carlos so much. Let's go back home for a second.
You have a wife and child, and then you also have Alex Albon, who's given his blood, sweat, and tears to that team. I do agree. I can't see Carlos being I can't see that being in the, what's it called? like his contract or the pitch and
Yeah.
stuff. Be like, yeah, you can leave after a year when you never know what the new regs are going to bring.
Right.
But yes, moving on to Owen's favorite team,
Yes.
McLaren.
I'm so happy about this news.
You
And
can take
Mark's article does it conveys perfectly how I'm feeling now too with this. So Andrea Stella has signed a new multi-year contract with McLaren. He's staying there for years, and it is the perfect time for it because now you have Lando, Oscar, and Andrea Stella locked in for multiple years. I'm really thinking that McLaren is focusing on 2025 and 2026 as years of these are our years to push for the championship. Yep. This is when we're going to do it. You know, everybody's looking to us this year to do it. And they wanted to get that kind of settled in by signing, Andrea again and locking him in again. So that way, like Mark's article puts, there's stability. There is, hey, we have all these things changing. We're experiencing this awesome growth as a team that, we're performing now for podiums and everything and all this stuff. And it's the team knows in the back of their head, like, all right, Lando, Oscar, and now Stella aren't going anywhere. And then I'm sure it's the same thing for 2026 when it's all this confusion and prep and design for these new regulations. And it's, again, in the back of your head, like, okay, well, at least we don't have to worry about our drivers leaving, or maybe at least we don't have to worry about our team principal getting fired. And then while we're designing these new regulations, we're then meeting a new team principal who wants maybe different things and wants to try out different ideas and all this stuff. Like
it's the stability.
Yeah, the stability factor of it is beautiful. I think it's great for McLaren. I'm super excited. I love Andrea Stella.
Yeah,
I just I'm hoping, and it's with all the struggles that McLaren has had recently with strategy and whatnot. Not saying that this is all on Stella, but having your team principal again locked in this way buys you the time to fix it. You want to fix it as quickly as possible, but at least you can say, like, at least it's not like a contract year for Stella now anymore. And you're like, hey, if we don't figure this out, like, we're kind of at a risk of Stella going somewhere else. Like, we need to worry about that.
He's fully focused on McLaren. Yeah. He can be for the next few years. Yeah, no, I think the stability, it honestly might put them in the best foot for the next few years. Like,
oh, yeah.
Obviously, you have Ferrari with Lewis coming in for 1 year before the regs. But, like, they get that, like, the four of them,
yep,
the heads of the dragon in McLaren are staying, and they're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah. I do really like Andrea Stella. I think he is the perfect person to, I think we might have talked about it before, counter Zach Brown and his personality, because he can be a little, you never know what you're going to get. I'm almost going to say he's American. And then Andrea Stella, who is calm, cool, and collected. I mean, listening to his response in Hungary when everyone had to listen to the radios of the broadcast, he handled it very well. People were pissed at first with his answers, but tension was high, emotions were high. But he is the perfect fit for that team. Wait, do you have anything else to add?
I do want to talk about one of Mark's other articles before we jump across, but whatever.
Mine's kind of to McLaren and Nicole Piastri and how she's on the Red Flags podcast. Yes. Can I just talk about this one part? So she talks about how she found out, like, the whole Oscar signing. When she found out he signed for McLaren, she was like, I was excited. And then all of a sudden it dawned on her. She was like, oh my God, Daniel. I love Daniel. They start cracking up because they're like, Oscar's like, yeah, Mom, everyone loves Daniel.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem.
She's so nice. I've never met her, but she just seems so nice.
Yeah. Rocking some Yuki merch on the podcast. Not even anything for her own son.
Yeah. And not even like minimal, like Yuki merch. Like it bold right across, just Yuki.
Like the framing that she's sitting is literally just says Yuki, like it says Formula One on my shirt, like perfectly Yuki. Yeah, no,
Yuki.
love her. But yeah, I wanted to mention that because it had tie into McLaren. What do you want to say?
So Mark posted, I read all of these articles today that we just talked about, just kind of refresh my brain and whatnot. And I saw Mark had posted an article about F124 Manager.
Oh, yeah.
If you have not read it yet, Mark, I hope you're listening to this episode and I hope you get to this part. Please, please, please make this a series. That was the funniest shit I've ever read.
I did.
And it was like, it was almost as if like I could picture Mark just in front of me, just telling me the story because it was so filled with his personality and it was such a good piece of his writing. Oh, I loved it. It was so funny. I now want to buy the game because of him. Like I want to get this game now. And I was like, oh, this would be such a fun game to play, blah, blah, blah. But yes, Mark, if you're listening, please make it a series. I'm really happy too, because I had scrolled down to the comments and I was like, if I can leave a guest comment, like, I'm like posting, say like, make this a series, please. Somebody had already beaten me to it. Somebody 6 days ago posted a thing saying like, please keep
doing it.
us regularly updated with this. This is awesome. So that's 2 people now, Mark, that have told you to make it a series. So please do. I loved it. It's so funny, and he does an awesome job of explaining everything in the game too. So it's a good read. I recommend it.
Sorry.
What? Just like, Jesus, fuck the podcast. I'll just sit here and watch Instagram.
I opened up the article for the next topic, and an ad started playing in Italian on the article.
Ah, okay.
Could you hear it?
I could hear a little bit of it, yes.
But yes, moving on. I did read that article from Mark. That was a very good one.
Yeah, good one.
It was funny. Yeah, I liked it. Well, it's in Italian, so I can't translate it. But moving on to the rumor mill this morning, decided to wake up and start putting some stuff out there. So there's a source, an Italian source, that is saying that apparently Aston Martin, of all teams, has reportedly completed a signing with Adrian Newey. And the announcement could come as early as September. Which
isn't early, considering
it's
how,
like 3 weeks away.
Yeah, like I don't want to sit now with this rumor for 3 weeks and be like, just give me the news. I don't know how I feel about if it is Aston Martin, I really don't know how I feel about it.
So yeah, I asked that question on Threads, and it was a mix of like, yeah, it makes sense, or like Alonso's world championship, next driver championships coming.
Right.
People are like, no, I'm disappointed. I want him to go to like Ferrari still, Williams. The door for Ferrari, I think, is closed and locked. I don't think that's coming back.
Yeah.
Because now that you read the details in this article, Newey wants a lot of control.
Yeah, okay.
A ton of control. And it's Ferrari. They're not they're the most the strict team there is. You're not getting that full control. And I don't think Fred's easily gonna give up that control.
Right.
He also, I think, wanted a lot of money. And
Makes sense.
I can't see Williams affording him. Yeah. Unfortunately. And I know people were like, no, I wanted him go to Williams for like the Williams aspect, to bring them back up to what their history and what they're known for and how great they could have, how great they used to be. Here's why I think Aston Martin makes sense. I don't know if I like it yet, but I think it makes sense. One, Lawrence Stroll's pockets are deep. I don't think there's an ending to them.
Nope.
There's a brand new facility at Aston Martin. They are getting the Honda engine.
True.
Which Newey has worked with the Honda engine for years now at Red Bull, so he already knows it. And there's been inklings, rumors that Lawrence Stroll hasn't been happy with the direction Mike Crack has been taking the team. So if Newey wants a lot of control with the engine and engineering side, I can see Lawrence Stroll be like, yeah, here, take it.
Yeah. especially if in these negotiations, Newey was like, Newey was kind of able to blend like whatever his if this was even needed. Like Newey's goals might be exactly aligned with what Lawrence might have. It's Newey can kind of just be like, hey, I'm all for your goals, but you need to let me run with it. Like you need to trust me that I will get that done, and take the team in that direction and take the car design in that direction and everything. So yeah, I mean, I feel like you kind of hit the nail on the head for my thoughts exactly too. It's, do I like it? I'm a little unsure about. I think a little bit of it is my displeasure that it's not McLaren. I think it's also a little bit of my displeasure towards Lance Stroll. That it's just I'm just like kind of meh about it. Does it make logical sense if it's true? Absolutely. We all know Lawrence Stroll is very, very rich. I don't think it would be out of the question for them to afford Adrian Newey. And yeah, I mean, from a tech person myself, if I'm given, my paycheck that I want and a state-of-the-art facility to go in and design a car for 2025 and then design a brand new car for brand new regulations using state-of-the-art technology, I'd probably buy into that, that idea, and take that chance. And yeah, like I said, I don't know. We have to see how it plays out and everything, but yeah, it definitely makes logical sense for Aston Martin to be a choice. I don't think I like it though, but so it is what it is, Well,
I also saw, I am not finding the reply, but someone brought up the Valkyrie project they have going on and the work he just did for Red Bull's hypercar. So his expertise could be used there as well at Aston Martin. So yeah, I think, I'm with you. I don't love it, but I can see why he would want to go there. Oh, and also, it's literally down the street. He doesn't have to move. It's probably the easiest transition.
Yeah, he's literally, probably a half hour at most from his.
Yeah, I mean, they're all in the same area, those factories. So, like, he may have to go another stop sign. Yeah, they're not. It's not that big of a change. But yeah, that was my. There was, like I said, there was a lot of people that were saying, like, yeah, I like it. I don't like it. They were up in the air. I think it's waiting to see if this rumor actually comes true. Like I said, I think Adrian Newey has always been that what-if all season, but now that Carlos finally knows where his place is, Adrian Newey is now the what-if, because we know he doesn't have a contract for next season, so, like, where is he going to go? I mean, I think anyone that gets Adrian Newey is going to see a difference pretty quickly. So,
yeah, they'll see an uptake. Or an uptick in performance, no doubt.
Very quickly. Yes, that was the weekly news. Like I said, it was going to be the majority of the episode. Yeah. We do have a few things going into our F1 Threads mailbag. Do you want to?
Of course I do. Of course I want to read this, my favorite ad read. Our F1 Threads mailbag portion of today's episode is brought to you by our new partner, Duracell Portable Power Stations. From the #1 trusted battery brand, Duracell Portable Power Stations and charging hubs allow you to power your laptops, mobile devices, lights, speakers, and any small electronics that make your life easier during a power outage or while away from a wall outlet. I will be using some of my portable charging stations tonight just because of the storms that are going to be probably rolling through both of our areas. Definitely going to be charging my stuff up beforehand and everything, and just having this in the back of my mind of, okay, if I don't get it charged beforehand, or if maybe it dies because I'm constantly on my phone, I still have the opportunity to plug my phone back in and charge it, plug my iPad back in and charge it and everything. And it's a huge help. So please click the link in the description below and check out the Duracell Portable Power Stations, including their 2024 Red Dot award-winning M150 and M250 models, and untether your device charging from the wall and power the possibilities with Duracell Portable Power Stations.
Good job.
Thank you.
You need
my throat was getting a little scratchy there for a second.
You need to can you program different things on that thing? You need to give a round of applause.
I can definitely figure that out.
But yes, our new favorite segment every week, F1 Threads Mailbag, because F1 Threads is the greatest place on earth.
I always see people like posting on Threads saying like, "Oh, I'm coming over to Threads from Twitter and blah blah and everything."
They're coming.
And I always want to post under it and be like, "Welcome to the best social media like community." And like, if you're an F1 fan, make sure to join this community. It's awesome.
Hells is our unofficial welcome person.
Yes, Hells is our unofficial welcome person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's our official welcome person, actually.
Yeah, there. Yes, F1 Threads Mailbag. So we didn't get a lot today. Obviously, it's not a race week, so I didn't expect to get a lot. So, but this is fine. So first, it was kind of going off of the Newey from JW Parks. So big strong rumors out of Italy that Newey's going to Aston Martin and that Ferrari was unwilling to meet his demands. What do we think? Like I said before, like we just said, I don't think they were unwilling to meet his demands. It's just not Ferrari's MO.
Yeah. It definitely, Ferrari has, unfortunately, this is something that kind of depends on how you look at it, may play against Ferrari now, where it's like they have such a legacy and they have such an image to keep to that a lot of it goes into playing, like keeping that image and keeping that legacy and everything. So somebody like Newey who's going to come in and be like, hey, I maybe want to try all these radical design ideas and switch it up and kind of just see how it goes. You know, Ferrari's going to be definitely a little hesitant to do that. I mean, we definitely, we saw, what was it, last year with Mercedes with the no side pods and how that played out for them. Not saying that Newey probably couldn't figure something out and make it work, but Ferrari, I don't think, wants to take that chance. So, yeah.
Yes. He also asked, what's your favorite pasta? JW Parks.
Tortellini.
Okay, I was like, Owen's quick with this. He's gonna know right away. I don't know if I have No, I love a ravioli.
Ravioli is very good.
I eat raviolis all the time.
I think I enjoy... I definitely like more of like a stuffed shell kind of pasta or like a filled pasta. Rotini or penne is great. It's awesome, but I definitely like a tortellini, like a cheese tortellini, or like even now like a cheese and meat tortellini. Delicious.
Oh my God, he's expanding his horizons, people.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, one time my mom got us meat and cheese raviolis, and you thought she poisoned us by mistake.
What a joke. What?
No, but nothing beats like a fresh ravioli.
Yeah.
It mayonnaise, meatballs, and gravy.
It's
Nothing
so
beats
good.
it.
It's so good.
I can smell the gravy. Nothing beats
it.
But yes, that was one question. And then from Frey, checking in from her vacation, or as the Europeans say, their holiday.
Holiday. That's right.
Yes. Now, she didn't know if we did this, and I think we might have touched on this a few things. Do like a team review of the first half of the season, ups and downs, or progresses, and then thoughts about what could happen next. This could be a whole episode on its own.
This is.
This could be we could do this next week if we wanted to, but if we wanted to do like one team quick.
Do a quick synopsis. Yeah.
This might be a good topic for next week, if not a lot.
Yeah. I'll go first. I feel like mine's pretty quick. McLaren, I'm thrilled with the progress. They're continuing it on from last year. Seeing Lando's first win, seeing Oscar's first win, despite all the controversy surrounding it, great. Love it. Keep it up. I think they're not going to stop there. That's my short answer.
What do you think is going to happen next for them? I think you could go on.
I do think that Lando's going to get another win this year. I think following all the bullshit of, his tough starts and stupid strategy calls and everything. And I think they'll figure it out. And I think they'll definitely get at least Lando another win. I could see an Oscar and Lando getting another win, both of them. But I do think a Lando win is definitely going to happen.
Okay. I like this because I think everyone on F1 Threads could have bet which teams we would talk about to do a quick synopsis. So
Yeah.
Ferrari. Kind of the same. They started out so strong. Carlos with that win. Charles with that emotional win. But ever since that Monaco win, whatever they sacrifice, it's like that scene from Infinity War when he sees young Gamora and just like, what did it take?
What did it cost?
Cost everything, because I swear since that Monaco win, it's been everything.
Yep.
So I'm hoping from Zandvoort on, they have a strong second half of the season or end of the season. I mean, this time last year is when Charles turned that around, had that crazy, very consistent run of like top 5 finishes until not that long ago. Canada, actually. But yeah, I believe in them. I think they can turn it around. I think they can get maybe closer to McLaren. Not going to say they're going to catch McLaren because I do think it's going to be a 1-2 fight between McLaren and Red Bull. But I think they can turn it around. But yeah, I think we should do more in detail next week for this one.
And we can do our teams a little bit more in detail, but we should pick a mystery team. We should each have a team that we don't tell each other, and then we do that.
Okay.
Or maybe we do tell each other so we don't get the same team.
We could split them. Like I could do 5, you can do 5.
Oh, true. Good call.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right.
But yes, so that was
Thanks, Frey, for picking our next episode.
Yeah, thank you. Unless some crazy ass news drops, which you never know, because I swear we hit end record, and tomorrow morning we'll wake up to like. But I can't. Going back to Newey, that's when people are like, "Well, when are we gonna like?" I'm not leaving anything until we get a announcement. I was like, "Yeah, well, we're not getting an announcement this week. The factories are closed. Like the only admin on social media right now is Alpine.
Yeah,
like, but it was always no one is working. But yeah, so we'll be back. I don't think anything crazy will happen over the next week. No, like Ferrari having Lewis join, signing Lewis.
No,
kind of news. But yes. Anything else to add?
I got nothing.
I think this might be our shortest episode ever.
No. No way.
No, maybe that one time last year you checked in from someone's, was it Bryn's bachelor party?
Bachelor party.
And then you we just did predictions with you, and then I talked the rest of the time. That was definitely a shorter episode.
I'm going to find that episode.
But yes, thank you so much for joining us for episode 71 of F1 Underground. You now know what we're talking about next week, so we just decided it. Thank you, Frey. We will be back next week to do a more in-depth review on each team, ups and downs, where we see they're going in the future. That'll be fun to talk about. Maybe we'll bring back pints and pit stops as well. I'll give Owen the week warning now.
The week? Oh, yes.
Pints pit stop.
Sorry, this is not our shortest episode ever. That episode where I popped in was 40 minutes and 52 seconds.
Oh, wow. I talked for myself by a long time.
Yeah.
But yes, like I said, thank you so much for joining us. All of our socials are at the bottom of the screen. Scrolling, please give us a follow over on Instagram and Threads at Underground F1. We're close to 9,000, which is a while to say.
Go follow us on Spotify too. We're at 82 followers. Go follow us on Spotify. Yes,
go follow us over on Spotify. We are close to 100 followers, which is also wild to say. Over on Twitter at underground_F1. I posted yesterday. It was very nice being able to post normally for a full weekend.
Yes, yeah.
On Threads. My
big
camera roll was
you.
very, very thankful. Someone said, watch it come back as soon as the next races. I said it's going to be when the green light goes off FP1 and everyone's going to hear me scream. But yes, thank you so much. We'll be back next week. And stay safe if you're in America. With the weather, it's a little crazy in the Northeast.
Hurricane Debbie.
Yeah, Hurricane Debbie. But yes, thank you so much, and we will see you next week. See ya.
Peace out.